So let me tell you, when you come abroad, you have a choice. You would meet different kinds of people, people that have sense, people that don't necessarily have sense. And it takes wisdom and discernment to know who has sense and to make sure that the people in your clique are people that have sense, right? My focus was always very focused during school time. It was between lecture, church, hostel, one or two social activities, a sprinkle of social activities, but like I knew my focus and it wasn't wavering. So I don't know where to start from in this particular video. Like today's episode is going to be a story time, it's going to be a testimony time, it's going to be me just sharing my experience in the last 17 to 18 months. And I really want to be as detailed as possible. And so, what I'm going to be doing is that I would divide this video into two different episodes. So, I'll post one this week and I'll post another one next week. Hi guys, my name is Chico Yvonne. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, you're very welcome. Please do well to like, subscribe, and leave a comment, especially if this video blesses you. So yes, today, as you can already tell from the title of this video, I'll be talking about my whole experience coming to the United Kingdom, how God helped me graduate with a distinction, because guys, I'm not even joking. It was literally God. And also how he helped me get a job immediately after my master's program without having to go through the graduate visa route or route. I don't know how people pronounce it these days, but yes. So I'm going to start off talking about my coming to the UK to study my master's program. So what I'm going to do is this. I remember when I first moved to the United Kingdom, I made this video on my Instagram page, and I'm going to put the link in the description box and a short clip of a part of that video in this video. And basically in that video, I was just talking about how I made the move to travel to the United Kingdom without necessarily having a full picture of what I was going to do with my life. It was literally me just taking a step of faith. I knew at that point that I needed to leave Nigeria. Let me just give a brief recap. Before I left Nigeria, I had a very good job. I was doing okay, but a point came and it just felt like there was more and I needed to move. Mind you, I was also running a master's program at Unilag for my international audience, that's the University of Lagos. But there was strike, everything was just like, everything was pretty messed up, for lack of a better word. And I made the move to relocate. So I'll put the video now for you to watch. So this is some sort of life update. So when I dropped that last video, a lot of people DM me, congratulations, blah blah blah. But there was one question that kept recurring and I couldn't answer. And people kept asking me, oh Toby, are you serious? You left your job? Are you planning to come back to Nigeria? Is this just for your studies? I know, questions like that. And I ignored most of the questions, like those questions. And the reason why I ignored those questions is not because I wanted to, right? It's because I don't know the answer. I literally just want to take each day as it comes. That's literally what I'm doing. I just know that I should be doing this, but at the same time, I don't know what I would be doing next. It's just really blank. There is literally just one thing that I know. Only one thing, and that's God. I'm not even going to I don't even know. Like, God is literally the only one thing that I know, that I am so sure of about my life. Like, there is just this confidence and assurance that I have that I cannot go wrong, regardless of whatever comes at me, because I have God. Okay, so welcome back. Now, fast forward to 18 months after this video was made. I have graduated from the University of Hull with a distinction in marketing and advertising. And guys, in fact, I'm going to start with that story. Let me start with that story. So as you can already tell in that video, I came into the UK in August 2021. And when I came, I was lost. I knew I knew that there was more, but at that point I couldn't see a lot. And so all I had was God, like literally. As you heard me say in that video, I just kept saying, all I know is God, all I know is God. Guys, it wasn't a joke. All I knew, all I had was God. I was jobless. I was clueless. I had no idea where my second semester fees would come from or my third semester fees would come from. I was just there. All the money I had put it into my application. I had put it into my first semester fees and a couple of other things. So I was literally just hanging, but I just knew that I had God. And I started the semester. It wasn't very easy. I'm not going to lie to you because at that point I was juggling a lot. I was looking for a job. For the first month, I literally just had to take up any job I saw because everybody tells you when you come to the UK, you would have to do a warehouse job, you would have to do a care job and things like that. And as much as I knew that God had better for me, for the first month, it felt like for me to survive, I had to take one of those jobs. So I remember taking a job at a bakery and where they used to make lots of cakes. And guys, that was the most stressful job of my life. But my point is, for the first 1 month, it was like I had no clue what I was going to do with my life. For the second month, it was tough. Schoolwork wasn't making it easy, and I had lots of responsibilities in church, which is something I'm really going to touch on. Church, because everybody that knew me back in hall used to call me a church girl because I lived in hall and my church was in London. And as much as I knew that I didn't have to, I decided in my mind that nothing would make me miss service physically. And so that meant that my weekends were going to be dedicated to traveling from Hull to London and from London back to Hull, attending services. So that meant that I couldn't even take jobs on the weekend. And if you know anything about the UK, when you work over the weekend, they pay you more. And I was foregoing that to just make sure that I was attending church physically. But yeah, back to the main story. How did I graduate with a distinction? God literally came through for me, and I'll speak about three ways in which God did this for me. The first is divine connection. Guys, God connected me with the right people. Let me tell you, if you have plans of coming abroad for study or for anything, I have to tell you one important thing. You must pray to God to make sure that you find yourself in the midst of the right people because it is very important. I cannot even emphasize how important this is because the right connection would help you think the right things, would help you focus on the right things, and would help you do the right thing. So when it came to my studies, God literally connected me to the right people. I can't even remember how I met the best graduating students in my class, but I think one day I was just walking on the road and he walked up to me and he was like, "Hey, I like you. I'd like to have your number." Something like that, something weird like that. And because he was disturbing me, I gave him my number. And I think, oh, in case he watches this video, and this is not the correct story, but I think that's how we started talking, or it was in class. I'm not sure. But I think this is how we started talking. But anyway, we got talking. I mean, at that time, I didn't know he was going to be the best graduating student. Anyway, he was just that guy that liked me. And we started talking. At some point, I started talking to him about Jesus. Told me he's a Christian, but he doesn't go to church often. And we always had that conversation going on and on and on. And that's how I met him. And so I remember the moment my first semester result came out and I had all B's. I'll put a copy of my first semester result so you can see what I had. I had all B's. And I knew that for me to graduate with a distinction, I needed a certain number of A's. And seeing my first semester result, I just gave up. I was like, oh, this thing is not for me. I'll graduate with a merit. And this is where divine connections came in. So this my friend calls me and says, "Oh, how far have you seen your result?" I'm like, "Yes." He's like, "Oh, how was it?" I was like, "Oh, I had all B's." And I was like, "How was your results?" He had all A's. I mean, good A's or not small A's. And I was like, "Oh, I shouldn't give up, that I can still have a distinction. That do you know what is going to happen for every other assignment, for every other examination we had to do?" Well, we never really did examinations, but we had assignments like examinations. So that for every other one we're going to do, he was going to make sure that he read through it. A very amazing community and a super amazing pastor. Like a pastor that literally cares about every detail of your life. I'm not joking, guys. My pastor would literally call me to ask about my assignments, ask me to send it, tell me you are doing rubbish here or no, you can do this better. And literally follow up with me at every point, at every step during my program. Like it was mind blowing. There was something my pastor did that will forever be etched in my memory. My second semester, I didn't have my fees. To be fair, I had the money, I had put it in an investment called agro partnership. I'm going to call them out. I put my school fees in agro partnership and it crashed. And so I had no school fees to pay. I had no money to pay my second term fees. I was literally stranded. And that day, I didn't even know it was the deadline for school fees payment. I just got to class and my friends, I saw them, they were trying to pay fees. And I'm like, you guys, what's the hurry? Why are you trying to pay your fees? And they're like, today is the deadline. I'm like, deadline what? I just really called my pastor. I'm like, hey, pastor, I'm not going to call his name because I don't even want me to call his name. And I was just like, my school fees is due. I don't know what to do. What do you think I can do? He's like, oh, how much is it? I told him and I was like, you know what? Hold on, let me call you back. And in less than 2 minutes, he called me back, send your account number, let me send it to you. Pay me whenever you feel like take your time to pay me. There's no rush, there's no hurry. And guys, I was like, what? I'm not joking, guys. That's how I paid my second semester school fees. And my pastor was that one connection. Like he's one of the biggest blessings God gave me in the last 18 months. Like he helped my spiritual growth. He helped me remain focused. He helped me ensure that I did not give up on graduating with a distinction. And I am forever grateful to God for bringing him my way. Like he has been that friend. He has been my friend for years. But like the last 18 months, like did it for me. Thank you so much, sir. If you are watching this, and I'm never going to get tired of saying it. I am so grateful for you, sir. Another divine connection that I enjoyed during my program was the gift of sensible friends. So let me tell you, when you come abroad, you have a choice. You would meet different kinds of people that have sense, people that don't necessarily have sense. And it takes wisdom and discernment to know who has sense and to make sure that the people in your clique are people that have sense, right? So I was just, I don't know, it was just God. Anyway, I have sense right from childhood. My parents taught me. How do they put it? They gave me training and I collected training. So I literally knew what I was looking for when it came to friendships. And so I made sure that the kind of friends that I had were sensible friends, friends that we kind of like had the same picture of what we wanted to be in the future and what we wanted to do with our lives. And it kind of like helped us not participate in things that were going to distract us. Like my focus was always very focused during school time. It was between lecture, church, hostel, one or two social activities, a sprinkle of social activities, but like I knew my focus and it wasn't wavering. And it really helped, guys. It really helped. And at the end of it all, God helped me. I also need to mention somebody, he's my namesake. God brought him my way during my project period. His name is Tochuko. This guy literally took my project like it was his project. Like at some point I was stuck. He would help me. Once my supervisor gave me feedback, he would just say, send the feedback to me. And he would do everything like God. He was a blessing to my life. Tochuku, if you ever watch this video, I am saying thank you to you. Thank you to you and to my family members for the support, the moral support, the emotional support. To my friends, oh my God, guys, I am so grateful and so emotional. It was a good thing when I saw my results and I saw that I was finished with a distinction. Let me tell you one funny thing. I literally almost missed the mark for a distinction. That's how bad it was because in my first semester, I had all B's. And in my second semester, I had two A's and I think one B. Yeah, I'll probably post a picture of my second semester results here. And so the determinant was my project. And I needed nothing less than 70 in my project to graduate with a distinction. Like if I had a 60, is it a 69 or 68? If I had a 69 or a 68, I couldn't have graduated with a distinction. And I remember just praying to God that God just give me 70 or 71. Just give me 70 or 71. Guys, guess what I had in my project? I had a 71. So it was literally like God favoring me. Like, I don't know how else to say it. But I just want to thank God. I feel like this video is already becoming long. So I need to stop and, the next part will be for next week. But yes, that's how God favored me, divine connection with divine wisdom. I didn't have to read a lot to know what to do in my assignments. Like, I just always knew what to do. Like, the wisdom was just there. It was mind blowing. Divine provision, finances. Like, God made sure that I only had to work a warehouse job for like 2 months or less than, and God provided me with a remote job that took care of my needs, like a remote job in my field with one of the top organizations in the United Kingdom. And it was just fantastic for me. And I was earning like a reasonable amount. Like, I can go on and on and on about how God helped me. He was just faithful. And so when I say it was God that helped me with my distinction, I'm not joking, guys. It was literally God. And I just want to give him all the thanks. And I told myself that nothing was going to stop me from sharing this testimony at the end of the day, because I will not lie to you. I thought I was going to come out with I didn't really care about the distinction or anything, because in my mind I just felt like it couldn't happen because of the many things I had to juggle: church stuff, school stuff, personal stuff. It was a lot, but God came through for me, and I am so grateful. But that's not where it ends. That's not literally where it ends. Like, I also told God when starting this program that, see, paying my school fees is one thing. Having money to apply for a graduate visa is another thing. And so, please, God, I need you to help me get a job that would sponsor my visa immediately after my master's program. And guys, I'm not joking. God did it. Like, immediately after my master's program, God gave me a job that sponsored my visa for years. So I'm not going to talk about that in this video. That will be for next week. So please, if you watch this video, make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss the notification when next week's episode is posted. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you next week. Bye.